Good morning, everybody. How you doing this morning? Starting nice and early, I see. Well, today we're going to talk about putting in a door on the inside of your house. You've had an opening going into your bathroom for, 30 plus years. It's time for a door. So you want a hanging door in there, but you don't want a swinging door, so we're going to put a pocket door, and I'm going to show you how that's going to go on. It's pretty interesting how people who have a door, they want to get it out, but people who don't have a door, they want to get one in. So that's why we remodel houses. That's what we do. So I'm going to back up here so I can walk backwards. I'm talented. Show you what we have. You got your master bedroom with double doors going into your master closet, and then you go here and you have this fine opening which has served you well for many years, but now you want to create some wall space on the left or the right, whichever one, and you want to redesign it. The whole bathroom is being redesigned, so of course it's part of the project. So in this case we have an existing opening with a 4x4 header, which is undersized anyway, but now we're going to span from there over 6 feet, frame it in here, and it's going to have to be a 4x8. I'll show you that later. We have electrical, which somebody did a nice little butcher job here, and really close to the edge. Fortunately for them, nobody stuck a nail in that, but that's all got to move. It's in the way. It's got to go to the other side of the opening anyway. So we have a little bit of work to do, and of course the heater duct has to be smack dab in the way too. So that baby's going to have to go in the ceiling. Not that hard, but just not that fun to do because the attic is full of blown insulation. So, you know me, I'll eat your dust for a price. Just send me up in there, people. So, stay tuned for how to reframe it. This one's getting inspected, so I gotta be good. Okay, so we gotta put a pocket door in, as we said, and they have this thing called a pocket door frame. It goes in first. I'm going to show you how to put that together. Here's what it looks like. It comes out to you in 3 pieces. You've got this pocket area, right? This is going to really act as the wall here. And this is the jamb that goes on one end. This is the track. You'll see as we put it together, it's relatively simple. The reason I like to put it together first, guess it's not that complicated, but I can measure it. Get your RO, which is what we call your rough opening. So anyway, that's step 1. Okay, it's relatively straightforward. You get up there and you screw it down there, put that piece on, but over here you can see that the point of attachment here, this is where it goes. This is the piece that drops in. It's a good idea to go ahead and pre-drill that little spot there. Get yourself a little pre-drill mechanism. You don't have to drill it all the way in there, but you want to get it pre-drilled so it doesn't split. So of course when you put the screw in there, it's not going to split that piece of wood. It's going to just kind of go through. It's really what we call a pre-bore. And the other one will be countersink, but we're not doing that. So you get the screws going in there. Sort of. Don't even have to really sink that head. It's never going to be seen again. Hello. This kind of holds that together right there. Okay, sometimes you need to get creative and find a way to hold this up when you don't have a helper. Kind of wedge it in the corner. In this case it's kind of standing on its own, but that's kind of helpful. If you have a corner, it won't go too far, it won't fall over. So we got to go into this end here, and of course we have to fasten it from the top and then into this section here. Okay, so I've attached this and in 4 places, and as you can see there's a crack here. Maybe it's too close. Anyway, I did one with a pre-drill and one without, purely for educational purposes. This is what'll happen. If you don't pre-drill it, it'll split because it's just pine. The grain is going that way naturally, or on the end it's just gonna split. So anything near the edge, you've got to pre-drill it. Take the time, it's worth it. Okay, I'm going to show you now. We've got this framing removed, the old stuff removed. Now we have this big 6-foot opening, 6-foot header. And of course, there's going to be this pocket in here, pocket frame. I'll show you how to slip that in there after a bit. Door goes in the wall. So you have your stud on one end. It's called a king stud. It goes all the way up, all the way down. The one next to it's called the trimmer. Goes up to the header. Header sits on top, and then you have cripples across the top. I have some backing up there. I'm going to fill in those blocks, sort of button this house back up. That's what the inspector likes to see. Okay, we got to put this pocket door in here. This frame goes in the opening, and it's not quite as easy as just nailing it to the stud. And I'll tell you why. You need this to be plumb and level, especially the track and the jam out here. So we get these shims out and we start making it happen. Maybe need to raise it up on one end, and we'll put some shims up there. I'll show you. So you can put the level on the track. You want to really zero in on that. Looks like I got it a little heavy. I'll pull that back down right there. And normally the shims can come in from both sides, but we don't have that luxury, so we're just tripling it up there. And then we'll plumb this side over here. So I like to use the finish gun for a couple of reasons. One is I can easily pry it loose back and forth, and it holds it in place. Okay, the other issue is plumb this way, of course. We're sort of limited. We have to go with the existing wall. If it's not perfectly plumb, and it's not because it's in this fallen world we live in, the door might not be perfectly plumb, but the beautiful thing about a pocket door is it kind of swings, and you set the guide at the bottom so it fits in there, and you can't really see that it's out, and it's not that critical. So now I'm gonna show you the little trick. You got to make it plumb, like I said, but really you got two issues. You got to be pretty flat to the wall, so your molding isn't going to go crazy on you. Sometimes you just have to work with it. The wall's out that bad, but this one's not too bad. I'm going to set it down, see if we can see what I'm about to accomplish here. You've got this edge here, and you don't know your thickness here. At the top you've already got it because it was on the other side of the drywall, but now you take a scrap of drywall and you assume the ½ inch that's going to be there, and you want to make it like this. You want to make it flush. Theoretically, it's flush on both sides, but in reality it's never perfect. But that's where your craftsmanship has to come in. So basically I'm going to put it here flush, cheat it a little bit so it works on both sides. Hope that's plumb. It's probably not. Shoot a nail in it. Okay, now it's all going to hold still for me. But I put the level on it, and once again, well, this one's pretty good. I'm going to go with that. The walls are pretty decent in this house. Like I said, this is a 70s house, so we're not dealing with major issues here. But anyway, there you go. That part is, that's how you make sure you get the same reveal, because you need that travel to go to it, like I said. So now you can see it's way out of plumb, but I got it tacked in there. That's why we have shims. That's why we use finish nails, so that we can easily move things around. We want to get this jam perfect. It's the only word people relate to when they're talking about your product. They want it perfect. So I measure that. It's hard to read on the tape, but it's 36 and a shy quarter. Measure across, 36 and a shy quarter. I got it marked. Little tap there. Little opportunity to come from both sides. And the reason that's a good thing is because of the wedginess of the shim, of course. You want this to be flat. If you think about this portion here, it could be going either way. Can't really see it now, but you'll see it later. Tricky business, Joe. And then you go like that, you put them together and you try to make it equal. Again, you just check it as you go. 36 3/8. I need more. Again, our magic number, 36 and a shy quarter. See that one, pull it back a little. Double check it up top and it's 36 and basically a quarter. So we're gonna work on these boys down here too. So I think you've seen enough. And I'll show you the final results after I do the shimming. So another little trick or two I learned here is when I tag the jam, I tag it above my shims because I'm holding it, trying to make sure it's right. Then I double check the measurement. Then you put them in the shims because then it holds it there. And another thing to remember with the pocket door or any door, when you're fastening up the jam like this, there's a piece of hardware going on this door, right? Eventually it's going to latch in there. You don't want to put nails right where that's going to go. It's kind of a minor thing here, but I like to talk about what I know. Come over here to this side, and you want that to be relatively flat. The whole world's going to see it every time they come into your bathroom. Then you make the door sort of fit this. But we need to secure this section here. That side is good. It's fastened to the house. But here, we got a thin piece of plywood, came with the unit, and we've got to take a nail through that, or screw, and fasten it down in the right spot. See, it's got to be perfect. And I'll show you a trick here. We're going to cross-side it. Here's how you cross-side it. When you take a look at this edge here, and you cross over to that edge, and then if you watch me, just looking at it like this. So yeah, look at it like this, and I see, okay, it needs to go out at the bottom. Push it out, push it out. So I got to do all that, make it perfect. Hate that word sometimes. Okay, well here's the trick. Drill a hole in the concrete, stick a screw in it. Get yourself a Bosch. It's a little tricky, but you'll figure it out. Okay, back in the old days, to get these shims out, we used to do one of two things. We'd take a knife, cut it, snap it, or a Sawzall, which is a big mighty tool. But now we have a cool tool. You might want to get one of these. It was made, original one was by a company called Fine, probably Swedish or something, but Bosch and everybody else has them now. We call them a multi-tool, and I'm going to show you how they work. Real easy. Okay, they're super loud, but they get the work done quick. Watch that blade right there. Ready? Watch it go. Where's it going to go? Wait, hold on. Where's it going to go? It doesn't go anywhere. Just back and forth. I'll tell you about that in a minute too. Watch this. Boom. Okay, that tool is invented or really duplicated by the medical industry's technology. This tool is just goes back and forth. You know, I don't know how many strokes per millisecond, but it's the same technology surgeons use to cut your bones. So we call it the bone cutter, and they've brought it over into the construction industry, so all us boys can have something to play with. Oh, out there, buddy. Boom. Look at the carnage, man. All the broken wood everywhere. The big bone crusher. So when they call you the doctor of wood, they're not far off. Stick with me, I got all the info about everything you ever need to know. Okay, we're putting the door in. Got the drywall up. And then the door has brackets. You get little doolios go right up in there. So we put those on, and then I'm going to show you. You know, we made this trim, this jam plumb here, and now we look at it and say, is it going to work? Why is it reveal is off a little bit? It's a little gappy, a little tight. Well, it's because it's not adjusted yet. So we got a pretty good deal, and they got this little tool here that we're going to use. It comes with the kit. Get up in there and twisting. Which way? Which way? Oh, that way. So this gap here goes away because we'll put a piece of door stop there, and then on this side. Not on this side because that's where your finger will actually get an owie if you keep doing that. So this is adjustable only until you put that door stop, it's called, on there, 1 3/8. And then there'll be a door guide at the bottom, but it's pretty much there. And there you have it. Okay, basically, once you got the door hung, the main issue is going to be you don't want that baby to drag on anything, right? You can't be rubbing. Once it's painted, you can't be dragging. So it's a one-time deal, boys. Okay. All right, so you have this little guide that comes in with the kit. Again, it goes right under the door. And this is what I was mentioning earlier also about if this wall's a little out of plumb this way, who cares? We can adjust it. The bottom line is, like I said, it cannot rub on the whole body of it. Of course, at the bottom, it's going to be rubbing against the guide. Okay, at first when you open your kit, you'll see that plastic guide and you'll see 4 nails. And you go, why do I need 4 nails when I have, you know, I can just nail it on one on each side. Well, I'm looking at it and I'm figuring out there's a slot in the plastic guide. You can see it. And that's so you could set your guide. You can slide it. See how the whole door is going to slide? I know this is really exciting. But you might have to do this sometime and your wife's going to say, why is the pocket door rubbing, dear? And you're going to say, because I threw 2 of the nails away and I didn't set the guide. So we set it like that. We figure out where we want it. Then once you drive them in, you can secure it with the hole in the corner on either side. Nail number 4, 3 and 4. Well, having said all that about the 4 nails, once you put 2 in, I don't see a reason to put 2 more. In fact, I'm not going to do it because it'll just potentially split the wood. So anyway, half the time these little kits, you're just trying to figure out what the guy meant when what the engineers that designed this stuff, what they had in mind. So the bottom line is make it work, make it plumb, make it level, make it roll. Look at that reveal. Sweet. Okay, now that you got your door, pocket door hung and all the trim on, you want to install the handle. It goes right there. You cut it out like such. So you get this thing, here it is. It comes in the box. That's what it looks like. You've all seen it. You got the little pull there. The issue is when you get it, it's, you know, it's a left hand and a right hand, so you don't know which way it's going to work. I'm going to take it apart and see if we can put it back together without the whole thing falling apart. They're kind of fragile, cheapy things. Okay, one of the most challenging things when you take something apart is, look at it there. You see, I'm going to take these screws out because we got the button on one side. It needs to be on the other side. This little lever dealio, it has to be right side up like that, right? You can't have it upside down. So you take it all apart, and then there's stuffing going on. This little spring here wants to jump out. It's kind of a weird little deal, but when you do the lock, it's going to depress and go back and forth, and it's all happy as long as you don't mess it up. Shouldn't use a power drill for everything in the world, even though it's a lot quicker. That's what you're looking at inside. Boy, isn't this exciting. Make sure you got that little dealio in the dealio there. This is official business. Put it on there like such. Say, wait, what's going on around here? You don't force things, because you'll end up with brokenness. So let me see if that's going to work, and we'll go from there. Put it in the slot. It's a little bit snug, so you got, like I said, don't go crazy on the screws. Okay, so once your pre-driller, get the heavy duty out. Man, you got to be really gentle. This big old heavy powerful thing. Get it started correctly. So now when the painter comes along, he doesn't want to mask it off. You can remove it. The holes are prepped for him. He doesn't have to try to do that. Pull it over. See, this little gizmo here is going to go right into the wall. So you got to get it that close, that precise. And it's going to go into the wall, but not just the wood. It's going to go into the other dealio. So now I got to notch this baby, countersink it into the wall at the precise location. Don't overdo it. You know, all this little stuff, it makes you wish you had a different job, because it's like, man, that's precise. I'm gonna go drink a bottle of water, because I gotta pace. You gotta pace on this kind of stuff, people. Don't go too fast. That's how you make mistakes. So now I gotta get the manual out. Some guys don't read manuals, but I read manuals. Exactly to get the location, the depth, and how to do this countersink dealio. I'm trying to show you how precise it is. This dude, it's got to come out. I don't know if you can see that a mile away. And it's got to catch that piece of the metal right there so that it won't move, right? In the wall over here. All they do is, in the instruction, is they say, mortise that plate in and then you're good. You have to transfer the marks yourself, and if you get it wrong, then you gotta spackle it and all this good stuff. So believe it or not, they want this big old hole. I'll show you why in a minute. I like to take precautionary measures, because I don't like to have to touch up a brand new job. Interesting thing, if you look at this, see it? Back off, camera one. There's something about that. It's offset. Look at that. The screw hole is closer on that plate. It's so weird. So you have to look at the manual, the directions, do it the way they say. It's going to go like this, but I know it's going to be right there. But before I mortise out this wood here, I'm just going to test it by putting this, pre-drilling one of these holes. Never do them both. Did you hear me say that? When you have two screws holding something, pre-drill one, set that screw just for the test. Because if you do them both and they're off, you got to fudge them just a little bit. But if one's off a little and you have to fudge it, then you do the second one and you've got one that's solid as a rock. That's what we like. Okay, here's another little detail I can't help myself. I got to tell you about it. When you finally got your marks and you draw around it with a pencil, okay, you say, okay, that's where I got to cut it. Pencil lead is making a mark. It's dimensional, so when you're going to cut it, you have to cut it on the inside of your pencil line. So even if you're a high school dropout and you're not happy about the way things went, forget about all that. You can move forward and learn kind of stuff like this. You can get it so precise and people are going to say, this kid is really good. And they don't need to know about your past. Okay, now, I'm an old timer. Not as old as that guy over there, but I am an old timer, and I don't have all the templates in the world, so you got to chisel it out. So when you chisel things out, you need a really sharp chisel. But I don't have a really sharp chisel anyway. So this is a small cutout and I just did it. And when you get done, you go, okay, I think it's gonna be bueno. Pull that door over here. Click the lock. Does it lock? Does it work? It does. This high-tech security thing we're doing here. Alright, so I can say to you with confidence, I've just demonstrated to you in this video how to put a pocket door in, how to hang the door, put the hardware on, and now the next thing you gotta do, go to the customer and get your money.